7 maybe. Back on the practice fields today. Had some new installs, so I think you saw that early on in our practice. A lot of teaching periods, a lot of installation, which is good. And I told the quarterbacks, it's a good challenge for you guys that we continue to try to install things, challenge those guys mentally if they'll prepare the night before, because it kind of gets into what the season's like, right? When you're game planning and you're doing different things each week, and hey, this might be a little wrinkle to this, the way we originally installed it or whatever. So it's always good for me to see how the quarterbacks handle that install. Those guys have a lot on their plate playing that position. The old saying, you get too much credit when you play well and you get too much blame when you don't play well. That's real for these quarterbacks. And so I think their job is we expect those guys to know what we know as a coach on the field. And the best ones I've ever had, that's what they do and do well. So it was good to challenge those guys. We'll watch the film and see how it went. We had a couple of hiccups here and there, but overall was pleased with today's practice. I thought our energy was good coming off of scrimmage. I thought we rebounded and went out there and practiced and wanted to be out there and practice. And, my experience over the last 10 years or so is that the teams that really enjoy going to practice, especially trying to improve and get better, not just kind of going through the motions, are the ones that have a chance to be pretty good. So it's always good to see those guys. And I think we got a lot of guys on our team that love football, and that's a big part of it, because obviously playing Division I athletics at any Division I school, there's a lot on you, a lot on your time, handling academics and all that stuff. So it was good to see those guys come out and respond today, and I thought we made a lot of progress. Okay, questions?
Yeah. Tuesday was your first full scrimmage of spring. What did you learn from that day?
Yeah, I thought we learned a lot, because it was really just a base scrimmage, like not a lot of junk on defense, not a lot of special things on offense. Line up, put the ball down, hand it off, or throw it if it's an art, whatever it is, and see who can block and who could tackle. And you saw it real quick, because you got to remember now, practice is different, because we'll go 4-play sets or 5-play sets in practice, right? And they kind of got an idea of what's coming, obviously studying ahead. But you get out there on the field, and then the situations pop up as the game goes, and they have to react and get the signal and process it. It's a whole different ball game. So I thought it was really good to see our quarterbacks react to that. I thought they all did some good things. They all messed up some things, which was pretty much expected. But overall, I thought it was a positive scrimmage, lots to clean up, and I think we learned a lot. I think those quarterbacks will learn a lot. They'll be much better, I think, the next time we scrimmage.
Specifically, Mikey Keene, we know he had one interception, but how did he look during the scrimmage from your perspective?
Yeah, he was good. He looked like a guy that's played a lot. You could tell, almost like a veteran guy. He made a mistake there on third down, and of course the receiver made a mistake as well. So it's one of those deals where people don't always see the big picture, but Mikey's he understood that right there probably shouldn't go the ball when it gets cloudy. Shouldn't go to that direction. But overall, I thought Mikey was really solid. Does a great job handling the team on the sideline. Does a great job on the field communication. Really kind of an even kill guy, never too high, never too low, which is what you like, and made some good throws too, I thought. Good decisions in the RPO game. So overall, I thought he had a really positive scrimmage.
John Rice, on that note, how was his first live scrimmage here at UCF?
Yeah, he wasn't live this scrimmage. That might change. So there was a couple plays that were kind of wild plays that you feel like he might have gone to the house on a couple things. I thought he made good decisions. He threw a nice ball up the sideline on a wheel route. With him, he had a couple busts on protection calls, which was kind of somewhat expected, I guess. So a guy that hasn't played quarterback near as much. Again, the live reps in a game situation, first down, second down. Okay, now it's 3rd and 3. Now it's a big play. We're going fast, tempo play. Okay, reset. Now it's 2nd and 8. You know what I'm saying? Like all the different situations. It's not scripted like practice. So lots for those guys to process, but really impressed with how he did the first scrimmage, considering a lot of stuff thrown at him. And now, the key now is taking that next step in the next scrimmage to continue to process and do all that.
How would you describe the competition at wide receiver?
I think we have some guys obviously returning that have played. You kind of know what you're going to get with those guys. I think Coach Hurd rotates those guys and creates that competition, which is really important. Obviously, you got, O'Keefe and Flash and Jalen Griffin. I mean, those guys have played a lot. And then Kobe Hudson's in the mix. I think Amari's having a good one, a good spring so far. then we'll have some more guys come in the summertime. So I like that room. I think we got a lot of potential in that room. Some guys that are already somewhat established and played, but we need that next group of guys to take that next step. And that's why we're trying to create the competition, rotating them through with different groups.
I know Thomas is a young guy, but when we talk to players sometime asking who had a good day, and they're like, man, he was making some plays, he's showing some flashes. So how is Thomas looking out there, Thomas Castellanos?
Yeah, he's doing well for a guy that probably should be in high school, I guess. Coach Malzahn said it the other day in front of the team that he hadn't even been to his prom yet, so that's kind of funny. But, he's obviously very talented. His whole deal is just, the terminology and getting the protections right and doing all those things. But the thing that I really like about him is he's really trying to work at it. You got to remember, he's really coming in here like it's a lot different, from a terminology standpoint and what he's required to do. So I think he's doing really well considering his age. He's a very talented guy for sure, but, lots to clean up with him but the future looks very bright for him for sure.
Coach, what's it like having that much speed where you can move it around? And do you want to move guys around like Flash and O'Keefe, or do you want to keep them in one spot?
Yeah, no, I think if you go back and look at what Coach Malzahn's done forever is he figures out who does things well and puts them in those spots, whether they play inside, outside, or whatever. It is nice to have some flexibility for sure, and especially some veteran guys. It's not always just having guys that can run and that are good athletes, but they got to understand what's going on too, the little nuances of route running and when to make the decision to do this or do that. And so that's nice to have those. Really got, I guess, 3 or 4 veteran guys if you count Kobe, and Mari's played some, and we got a couple other guys that are working their way into the mix as well. But definitely nice to have that ability to do that for sure.
The Athletic had a story the other day about potentially adding, one-way radios to quarterback helmets in college. Obviously, it's been a thing in the NFL for a long time. I don't know if you heard about that. But,
yeah.
I mean, would you, as an offensive coordinator, I would think you would support something like that you would be able to communicate. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, 100%. I wish they'd do it. I mean, I never even talked to Coach about that. But, I mean, for me personally, yes, I would love to do it. I think there's it'd probably make the game go a little faster, I would think, as far as the game times. And obviously you don't have to worry about near as much of all the people and stealing signals and doing all that stuff. So at the end of the day, you do what you're allowed to do, but I think that'd be a positive thing. And maybe there's some negatives to it that I don't know yet because I've never been able to do it, but I definitely think it'd be nice to be able to talk to them.
With how Isaiah is being used this spring, what are the opportunities for other guys in the running back room?
Yeah, great point. I think obviously I thought Johnny looked great in our scrimmage. He's very sudden, got a great burst, which we understand. He's he made a lot of good plays for us last year. I think that group, if you look at that unit, obviously RJ's still recovered. He's not released yet, but he's very talented. I know I've seen enough of him to know that from video from last year. And then obviously Mark Anthony came on strong. I think that group, I don't know that I've ever been around a group right now that's that deep like I think we have. Now, at the same time, guys get banged up as the year goes, so you're going to need them. I mean, one year at Troy, I was down to 1 scholarship running back, and my walk-on got hurt, and I had to get a guy off the street that was delivering food, Uber Eats and all that. He had been a walk-on there before, and he had kind of hung it up. We talked him into coming back, and because the only running back we had left, this is in 2019, he had 86 plays in one game. It was too many, and he was a warrior now. So we got this guy to come off the street who had been a walk-on, great kid. I think he's what do they call an Air Force paratrooper, go down and rescue pilots and stuff now. I mean, he was fit, and so we got him to come back out, and we took him on a road trip to Akron. I think he carried the ball 14 times in that game. We got the lead. So unfortunately, the next week he was on kickoff team, tore his ACL. So that was a tough deal. But the kid wanted to be a part of it again. He helped us out. I'll never forget him for it. But the depth I think we have, and I hope I didn't miss somebody there. If I did, help me out. But I think that room is very deep, and then obviously you add Jordan in there too. He's a newcomer this spring. He's still learning. Obviously his head's spinning, but that group's got a lot of potential to be really special, I think.
How has Joey Gatewood made the transition to wide receiver? I know it's only been a week, but does he do some things, and how are his hands?
Yeah, sometimes, his hands are good. He does some natural things. Sometimes he's very athletic. It is different, though. Like when I was a high school coach, a lot of times we try to get basketball players out that were good basketball players, but it was like, man, they don't move the same out there in football, a little bit different. I think Joey's going through that at wideout a little bit, like he's thinking a little bit, processing, okay, how deep's this route need to be and so forth. He's got a lot of potential. I mean, it's going to take him some time because he's played quarterback his whole life, obviously, and it's a different deal and going out there being physical and doing all that. But really, really pleased. His attitude's great, and he is talented. It's just, honing him in and getting him to learn everything, the details of what he's got to do.
What are you seeing from the guys in terms of blocking ability?
Yeah, I think Coach Malzahn, any team he's had, that's a premium. He spends a lot of time talking about it, a lot of times showing them, and a lot of times doing stuff. It's a mindset I think those wideouts have. When I watched film from last year, I mean, a lot of the things we do, getting the ball on the perimeter and so forth, really require the receiver to do a great job out there blocking and being in position and battling. And, obviously the veteran guys are really good at it. The younger guys still learning sometimes. They get on them too quick or too late or whatever, or their angle's bad. But I think Grant Hurd does a great job teaching that too. He's a very good teacher, and those guys are going to have to block if they're going to play. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.